All right. Our next guest is a guy who I want to take a little credit for.
Agent Kyper?
Not so much
Line-mate Kyper?
Agent Kyper, line-mate Kyper. Thursday morning, Eric Lindros skates. We formed a line with myself, Big E, and our next guest, Cody Hodgson. And I think that's where the seed was planted. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's welcome in Cody Hodgson from the Milwaukee Admirals, who went 8 years between professional hockey goals. Cody, thanks for joining us, man. How are you? You look great. You look better than me, I can tell you.
Oh, I feel great. No, it's nice to be playing again. And, not that I didn't, consider playing with you also playing, but in a professional manner.
If you're playing with Kip, it is not in a professional manner.
So, in all seriousness, how good was our line?
I think we were great. You could see why we played. It was nice to reminisce about the old days playing, but we had some good chemistry out there.
So, go ahead.
No, you go.
So Cody, you had a condition that was associated with some medication you had been taking at the time. For those people who aren't familiar with your story, could you give us the background of how you went from stopping playing in 2016 to being back, and by the way, scoring 3 times in 5 games in the American League already?
It's a bit of a crazy story, to be honest. But, I was diagnosed in 2016 with a rare muscle condition called malignant hyperthermia. I was having some severe issues. Most people know it as an allergy to anesthesia, where your body gets super hot and, things just basically start shutting down. Everything seizes up and you trigger this reaction that is fatal. The name malignant means can kill you, and then hyperthermia just means your temperature, rises too high. So that's what I dealt with while I was playing. And I was told once I was diagnosed 100% with it, I did the genetic testing first just to try to confirm it wasn't exactly conclusive. So I had to do a muscle biopsy. They take a big chunk of your muscle and they test it through a bunch of, they put through a bunch of tests, and then they showed that I had it for sure. So they said, avoid contact sports, avoid prolonged physical activity, avoid going from hot to cold or cold to hot, avoid, high stress environment, basically a job description of a professional hockey player. And they say, if you don't do that, you could trigger this thing, it could kill you. So, I was having some heart arrhythmia stuff. I was having, my lungs were shutting down. I was urinating blood. I had a whole bunch of issues while I was playing that I had to go to the hospital a couple times for, just in the emergency room. And it really was scary. So, after the testing, I took about 4.5 years off. I didn't touch my gear. And then some alumni guys in Nashville, while I was living there, I was working for the Predators. They knew I couldn't play hockey, and they'd still check up on me every couple of weeks. They're just a really good organization, really good people. And so I decided to stay in Nashville and oversee the youth development. I did that for about 7 years and just played basically hockey once a week. And then I moved home. My brother just had a kid, and my other sister was pregnant, so I wanted to be an uncle. Moved back to Toronto, started skating a little bit in the summer, and it kind of took off from there once I started feeling healthy.
Can I ask you, that stretch of retiring to the point where you went back, did you ever really have closure? Is this why you're coming back, is because you never felt right about the time that you did retire the first time?
Yeah, I always wanted to play. I played 6 years, but I always felt like a lot of my buddies are still playing, and it's still it's the best life. You want to be out there and competing, and I knew I didn't have a chance. I knew while I was having these issues, and even in the previous times, if I skated hard, if I was did a hard workout, I knew my body would seize up. It would trigger, and I wouldn't be able to do anything for a day or two, and have to take these drugs that make you kind of loopy, and you can't really play on them. So yeah, it was tough. Those 4 or 5 years were really tough. I literally didn't touch my hockey gear, like my professional stuff, in a long time. And then JP Dumont said, if you want to come back out and play, it's just alumni guys. No one's there to prove anything, and we just have fun. So if you can't skate, you can't skate, and you just get off, and no one's going to try to kill you or anything like that. It's not super competitive. So I loved it. It was good for the soul to be back in the game, being around the dressing room, being around the guys, and it was nice of them to allow me to come out. And then from there, started playing, once or twice a week. And then when I got back in Toronto, a little more intense skates with Lindros, and Gary Roberts has a skate as well. I joined, and they just made you feel comfortable. But once I started feeling good, it was about midsummer. I called some of my buddies that were still playing, Cameron Gauntz, Kevin Carr, and I said, hey, if you guys ever need an extra guy, I'd love to jump out there with you guys and see what I can do. So just having fun. I was still 235 pounds, and so I've lost 45 pounds since then.
Wow.
But it was just fun to get back out there and compete with them. They were still training. Like, they all wanted to play back in the National Hockey League, and some of them were still playing. So just kind of took it from there.
Imagine being so good at hockey, you just call up guys and playing pro hockey. Be like, can I just jump out there a little bit? Like, I'm just gonna drop 40 and get back in the mix. So is your health condition then, is that gone? Is that how looked after? Is it a risk still for you?
I mean, I think it's a genetic condition, so it's always there. But hopefully, with the right medication that I have now, and being able to do these techniques that I've kind of developed over the last little bit, that it hasn't triggered. And I've pushed myself harder in the last 6 months than I have in my entire life, thinking that I would try to trigger it so that I wouldn't come back and then have to stop it for 2 weeks. Yeah. So no, and luckily it's been great. We called up the doctors that told me I couldn't play anymore, and I said, please test me for everything. Test my lungs, liver, kidney, heart, all that stuff, and it all came back clean. And then I after skating, and normally like I said, it would be like a couple of days I have to take off, but after skating with the guys that were still playing, and I tried to come back the next week, and then maybe I'd do 2 skates a week, and then started into 3, and I just kept pushing it. And then I called the doctors again. I said, hey, I'm going to try to, push this as hard as I can. Can you guys monitor me, please? And so every week I would send my blood work in, the blood tests, and it's been clean. So knock on wood, nothing comes up, but it's been feeling great.
We're talking to Cody Hodgson, who's made a remarkable comeback after 8 seasons, and now is playing in what's still considered, I think, the second best league in the world, the American Hockey League.
And on the best team by a good distance, too.
What did you guys, haven't lost in 19 games or something? 20?
We just lost on the 20th game, unfortunately. But yeah, the second all-time in AHL history, the streak.
That is awesome. So let me ask you something. 8 years, a few things have changed. Tell me about those first couple of days walking in. Is you get a little Marty McFly thing going, Back to the Future. What was noticeable for you that maybe you noticed that you didn't notice 8 years ago?
Well, I know no one takes slap shots anymore. That's the first thing everyone kind of told me about.
Yeah.
There's no time in the game, but we'll see if I can bring it back. No, the next thing is just everyone's so talented and skilled and fast. But I thought that was going to be the biggest adjustment, just the speed of the game. And honestly, the mental side of it, that was probably the most difficult. I mean, the first game back, I got to give Milwaukee credit, though. The coaches have tried to put me in a situation to succeed, and they didn't put me in the first little bit. I was practicing, trying to get up to speed, and then I got put in a couple games. I broke my rib the first game, second period, so tried to play through that for a bit. Had a bruised lung. The second game was feeling it, but then I had to shut down for about 3 weeks, and then just coming back now. Had to take a little break, but that was a nice welcome back to pro hockey. Nice broken rib right at the beginning.
Is it?
But no, sorry, go ahead.
I was just is it being back around pro hockey and the routine of travel, morning skate, game, shower, the 3,000 showers per day is something I remember vividly that I was glad to get out of when I was done. Is it like a time warp to be back doing all that again?
Yeah, it is. But like I said, these guys there's such professionals here. They got great food in the mornings. They got top-notch medical staff. So honestly, it feels great. I don't know what else you need. As a hockey player, it's kind of the 3 days of the week. You get game day, practice day off. It makes things real simple. So it's weird being back in that environment after, being in the business world, sort of in real estate. When I got out of hockey, I started investing in real estate. And so there's, you had to get rid of your naps. That was pretty nice, getting the midday nap now.
Bring that back, yeah.
How about video games with some of the 20-something guys? What do you guys do all day in Milwaukee?
No, I haven't got it back into the video games. I actually never was really into the video games when I was doing it, but no, now we're into the red light therapies, the PEMF, all the stuff to take care of your body. It's changed a little bit,
I guess.
So, what are the aspirations? I mean, obviously you'd like to get back and play at the highest level, one assumes? Yeah,
no, I think anyone who plays it, hockey at a competitive level wants to play at the top. So that's my goal. I mean, it might be insane to think about it, but no, that's what I'm pushing for.
So, PTO would be a good start by next September with the National Hockey League club?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm just trying to do well with this team. I'm trying to get involved as much as I can and then, be part of this. Hopefully we can start another streak. But it's been fun to be around. I really like the coaching staff, the GM. They gave me a chance. When I first called, they're like, that might be a little long. I haven't played in 8 years.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate. I got to talk with. I actually called people that knew me and knew my character and knew I wasn't just calling kind of in this pipe dream that I was training and knew what was going on. But a couple guys made some phone calls on behalf, which was really nice. And I was able to talk to Guy Boucher and Terry Crisp was a good one in Nashville. I just basically asked them, like, you guys have been around the game a long time. How would you try to do this, or what do you think would be the best way to do this? And they said, it'd be tough to try to convince a team to give you a tryout right away, but maybe if you pay your own way, or you come down and you do your own skates and you show them as part of practice, and then maybe you can help their team. So that's what I did. I called Milwaukee, I called a couple teams, and these guys are fortunate. I was fortunate to get a chance with them, and so just trying to reward that decision. And I'm just trying to keep in the lineup and do as best as I can. So it's a different mentality right now, but I'm not looking too far in the future. Just day by day, trying to score as many goals as I can and contribute to the wins.
Where are you in like your fitness compared to where you would have been as a player? Do you feel strong in the gym like you were? Or?
Oh, I'm way better shape.
Really?
Before, when I pushed it, I would get worse. Like my body would shut down, and so it was really tough for me to do that type of conditioning. Now I feel like the more I work, the more I push, the better I get. So I'm down to 189 pounds. I think we just did our body fat on about 8.25% body fat. That's like better than when I played at the peak.
Can I ask you about the goaltender, Askarov, I think. Highest drafted Russian goalie in, I think, NHL history, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 11th. How good is he?
Oh, he's unbelievable. Yeah, it's incredible. I played with a lot of good goalies. I started my career with Luongo and Schneider, Miller, and then Pecorine and Nashville. He's up there. He's honestly, his caliber is pretty intense, pretty high. So I like working with him. I like shooting on him. He competes on every puck. Doesn't matter if it's a rebound in practice. If it's in warm before a game, he'll dive for pucks. Like it's pretty fun to be on the ice with him.
On trade deadline day, when he's packing his bag to go to Nashville, can you call us and let us know?
They actually have this figurine coming out for ASCII night. They have him bench pressing the net. And I asked him, like, if you get a couple of these, I want a couple signed of these. This is pretty historic. So he's ready to go.
Well, it's awesome seeing you. For those of you that aren't watching on one of our platforms, TV, Cody, you look great, man. And I'm taking credit for a lot of it. I want to be honest with you here.
Oh, thank you. You should.
Hey, and put in a good word for me and the Big E. If you can do it, we can do it too.
Run on the fourth line with the Admirals.
You've inspired me, Cody.
Oh, thanks, guys.
All the best, buddy.
Thanks,
all the best.
Cody.
And we'll stay in touch. Cody Hodgson, everybody, from the Milwaukee Admirals, who's 8 years removed and back playing professional hockey at age 34.